another variation of my manual yarn changer. As you know, the mid-gauge and the bulkies don't have a yarn changer like you can buy with the standard gauge, which makes multicolored knitting quite difficult. So here was my original version. It had capacity for 4 different yarns. It was really fabulous until I needed to knit something very wide. And so if you can look over here, you can see that in order for the carriage to pass, to make sure that it has knit all the needles properly, it's actually blocking my manual yarn changer, which makes it very difficult and time consuming to get the yarn from around back of the carriage, etc. So that's where I needed to come up with a different solution. So if you give me a minute to reset the camera, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, one thing to note before we get started is this is how I have the yarn threaded in the tension. On the right side we have the black yarn, and on the left side we have the colored yarn. So you'll see in a minute how this becomes relevant when we're using our manual yarn changer. Now, I know everybody's been wondering, how did I make my manual yarn changer? Well, let me show you the secret. It's just a wire clip. And this is something that you can often find at the dollar store, or you can find it like at Walmart. Oftentimes it's in the laundry section or the kitchen section. And I've got a ton of these, one in every color for every outfit, but really I mostly use them to clip the Doritos bags so that the Doritos stay fresh, or I can use it to clip messages or whatever to my wire baskets. But I think most of you have seen these. They're at every store. So now, one thing you want to note here is that there is a slight open area where it forms the little handle thing here, and that's where I'm going to enter my yarn into the little holder. So what I do is I clip this on my right side because I'm right-handed. I just make it kind of as low as I can go comfortably on my t-shirt, and then I sit down. So right now I'm going to put my colored yarn into my changer, since it is not the yarn being knit. However, it's now time to change the yarns. So I'm going to take the black yarn out of the sinker plate, and I'm going to put it on the right side of my yarn changer here. And that way it corresponds to the way I've threaded the tension so that the yarns don't cross. Now I'm going to remove the colored yarn from the yarn changer and feed it into the sinker plate. Okay. Make sure to remember to pull down any excess slack in the tension, and then you are ready to knit. Now, one very important thing is I always push the yarn that's not being knit flat against the knitting so that it doesn't get caught up in this area here. And I mean, at first it may be difficult to remember, but trust me, you will remember after you've done this for a while. So let me go ahead and knit my rows. Okay, and again, it is time to change my yarn. So I am going to remove my colored yarn, put that into my yarn changer here, and then I'm going to remove the black yarn and put it back in here. I'm going to hold my colored yarn next to the knitting, and then go ahead. And remember, on the way back, you want to, again, make sure that the yarn that's not being knit is held against the knitting so that you don't get it caught up in these little brushes over here. So that's how we use our high-tech, handy-dandy manual yarn changer. Honestly, this is probably one of the better yarn changers I've used in absence of the automated yarn changer that you can buy. If I could buy one for my mid-gauge, I definitely would buy one. But since I can't, this keeps it very handy and available for quick yarn swaps.